We'll be inviting our next speaker, Mr. Adamu Usman Ahmed. Mr. Ahmed is a dynamic and innovative chartered accountant. He's a tax practitioner and an auditor. He has over 20 years of excellent service delivery in key industries and sectors of the Nigerian economy. He currently sits as the Chief Audit Executive of Julius Berger Nigeria PLC and its subsidiaries.
As we delve into the core of our discussion, let us examine the relationship between accounting and democracy. What is accounting by definition? When they say accountability, as far as I'm concerned, the simplest definition of accountability is accounting. So through accountability and transparency, these are the cardinal pillars within which democracy must stand. Accounting and accountability are twin brothers, as they ensure that the government officials are held accountable to the citizenry, while transparency gives the public the right to access government information and requires that decisions and actions made by government are open to public scrutiny. When the public is made ignorant of government information decisions, it cannot hold meaningful elections or make informed electoral choices. This leaves the government free to become self-serving, corrupt, and arbitrary. Professional accountants are architects of financial systems, ensuring the transparency and integrity of economic process. From budget formulation to financial reporting, our profession safeguards the fiscal foundations upon which democratic institutions stand. Allow me to illustrate this through the lens of our beloved nation, Nigeria, and draw parallels with global experience. Our commitment to development of sustainable democracy transcends the numerical precision of financial statement. It is embedded in our dedication to accountability, accuracy, and ethical conduct. Through our collective efforts, we lay the groundwork for economic systems that foster political stability and social progress. As I said, let us have an interactive discussion so that we share our wisdom. Right from yesterday, I have been hearing lots of issues about ethics. And what I always say, the accountants will always discuss ethics in their classrooms. But ethics is beyond the discussions we had yesterday and today, because they are the bedrock of moral upbringing. Why I am always contemplating on the entire symposium or the entire process to which we want to relate this ethics to democracy is because accountants by nature should be selected based on their nature. Because maybe how I can say this is there are people that are naturally unethical, but they find themselves to be accountants. So if you are naturally unethical, how can you just because of a clause in accounting or by a financial standard that the concept of integrity, transparency, accountability are there, how can you start practicing them when naturally that is not embedded in you? I think that is an impossibility. So right from the secondary school days where there is this guidance and counseling, I think that is the beginning or the foundation stone where accountants should be selected. Secondly, if you look at the trend of if you cannot participate in elections, elective elections, then maybe you can gather your small money and contribute to us, so that you will be able to go for the electoral. Okay, so if you look at the case studies, there is no scandal in Nigeria that happened without the active involvement of accountants. There was one time, I think one very influential officer blew a whistle on non-remittance of the sales process from the sales of crude oil. That was a very, very serious whistleblowing case for the entire nation. But in the end, what happened? The guy was sacked, and nothing happened. In fact, he is still asking as of now, where are the dollars? Where are the dollars? And the dollars have disappeared, and nobody can do anything because all accountants are just writing what we call this standards in the comfort of the offices. So these standards, you will write them until you can write no more, but I tell you there is nothing that can change them if you are not participating by yourself. So successful initiatives where accounting profession played a vital role in promoting sustainable democracy have been instrumental in fostering transparency, accountability, and good governance. Accounting professionals contribute to democracy by ensuring financial integrity, ethical practices, and responsible stewardship of resources. Some of these initiatives include transparent financial reporting, this is in place, anti-corruption measures, like the Honorable Accountant has just said, budget accountability, electoral finance oversight, capacity building and education, international collaboration. But let me just ask, let's say I am an accountant in my organization, and the MD wants me to address an invoice or do something in this country where the unemployment rate is getting higher by the day. And if I refuse to do it, maybe they will sack me. Tell me what do you expect me to do? In fact, the compromise will come automatically by itself. Because in fact, I will not remember anything called ethics until after the thing is done. So, with the nature of things in Nigeria, I believe promoting ethical principles is very, very challenging. So these ethical dilemmas, you will continue seeing them unless and until ethical accountants are occupying democratic positions. I think I have the ethics as the foundation. So the foundation of ethics, as I always say, ethics, the foundation of ethics begins at home. They say charity and morality begins at home. So these things we have been, most of us have been trained to have this ethics, even with the ethics, not even accounting ethics, but moral ethics for proper societal orientation. But these things, to ensure that their implementation is something that is very, very challenging, and will keep giving us ethical dilemmas until and unless we find a new dimension to what we have been doing. So the summary of my 2 points. The essence of sustainable democracy recognizing as a dynamic equilibrium that transcends governance structures. How is the role of the accountant there? The accountants are virtually everywhere, and even at you'll see in the Senate or House of Representatives, we have 2 standing committees for finance. But are we upholding the ethical values? That is the question. The evolving role of professional accountants, acknowledging our position as architects of financial stability and transparency. On paper, we are there, but in practice, we are maybe almost there. The development of a sustainable democracy through the lenses of accountability, accuracy, and ethical conduct. I think this we have deliberated at length. And the collaborative efforts of professional accounting organizations, examining their role in fortifying democratic stability through case studies and best practices. The crucial role of ethics, acknowledging it as a foundation upon which the accounting profession's alliance with sustainable democracy is built. You know why? In fact, I have so wished that this conference was so robust, and was having a lot of invitees like the professional bodies, the people from government. That is when this what I'm saying would have made a significant impact. But just do me a favor, whatever we've discussed, the community hand it over to me personally. I will use my political contacts to make sure it is sent to the National Assembly at least. And that is what we're practicing.
As every accountant is a politician, why did he say that? We're supposed to share similar values like accountability. Accountants should be accountable. Then the one that struck me was when he said confidentiality and transparency are conflicting. Yeah. So, and we all know that confidentiality is one of our values. So how are we going to marry confidentiality and transparency? And I actually agree with him. His thoughts are true. How do we, when do we draw the line between confidentiality and transparency? So that's a good one. And two, I also heard he said no organization can survive without accountants, and there's no dead organization that accountants ain't contributing. So that means that we are catalysts, whether we like it or not. Anything we do, we have to be ethical. Then there's one that we really need to add to the communique. He said we should ensure that ethical people enter the profession. How do we start? Right from primary school, that we need to communicate differently. And I agree with him. We need to put our money where our mouth is. So please, if you're interested, if you're an ethical accountant and you're interested in politics, please let's come together and support our own. So,
okay, thank you so much. Mine is more of a comment. I'll come with the questions later. So about the committee, I'm so grateful that you are putting yourself out to help drive it. Because last year we wrote community and we sent it to all the professional accounting organizations, ICANN, ANAN, ACCA, FRCN, we sent it to them. CITN, we sent it to them. So we actually need, like you said, we need to do something differently and proactively. So we are ready to partner with you on that. Thank you so much. Then my question is on, you said that accountants should vie for political positions. So I'd like you to throw more light on that. Apart from which elective position is how I say can help promote the accountancy profession? Which position, elective position, can you vie for to be able to make the difference?
Thank you very much. Like I said, I think as accountants, we need to collaborate as partners to ensure that our communities reach the desired results by communicating them efficiently and effectively to the responsible powers that be. And for accountants, in politics, there is no position that is too small. Whatever position you have, you can make a difference. Let's start with the State House of Assembly. That is, you can start with the council. The council is the least political position that is operating in Nigeria. The council has access to the local government bylaws, and he is responsible for implementing those bylaws in the ward that he is elected. So right from there, he can start doing something. Talk less of those that are in the State House of Assembly. They are the ones that do all these laws. Let me just give you a practical example. We had, as a company, we had in the entire construction industry, we had a problem of excess deduction of withholding tax. And the rate, government has fixed it that for every contract you do, the agent of deduction shall deduct 5% as withholding tax. We realize that deduction is far beyond the tax profile of the tax liabilities of the companies, and we applied for a reduction. You know who is responsible for doing that? To review the law and reduce. If you look at the law as it is now, for construction industry alone, the rate was reduced from 5 to 2.5%. For all others, it is still at 5%. So and that was single-handedly done by my political contacts. So that is showing the essence of politics, and this is done through the National Assembly, the Finance Committee, the Appropriation Committee, and the Ministry of Finance. So no matter where you find yourself in, there is Public Accounts Committee. The Public Accounts Committee is responsible for checkmating the activities of the Accountant General of the Federation. Whatever she does, if they are not in agreement, they create problem. And most of all, the National Assembly's committees are responsible for approving the budgets of all MPAs. So there is no way the accountants cannot make an impact once they are in every democratic position. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Wow. That was really, really eye-opening.
What the just said, there is a bill, Public Financial Management Bill. This bill will be submitted to the National Assembly. But thank God we have the former Accountant General of the Federation in the name of the former governor Jacobo is there. I expect all the professional accountants to be so that by the time this bill is passed, it will solve so many problems, and which I believe the private sector will be calling publicity. It combines so many things about, it's just like even the financial regulation, everything about accounting profession covered in public sectors, which I believe the private sector to embrace it. So I will plead with all the professional to join hands, because I know definitely there will be a public hearing before the bill passes. If all are there able to look at it, it will solve so many problems concerning the financial attention of the policy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And also, there's also this Finance Act that is reviewed on an annual basis. The Finance Act summarizes all finance issues, most especially related to accounting and tax matters. And this is reviewed on an annual basis by the finance committees of the House through the Federal Inland Revenue Service and the Ministry of Finance. Where you have, if we have a strong committee that we can still add to that, we can also put in that and send to the National Assembly for onward concurrence to the Finance Act bill and what have you. Thank you.
My concern is this. At a point, I remember when I was writing my skills exam in ICANN, we were treating PSA. A lot of things were taught concerning public sector accounting, and those things are not in reality. But they taught all of us in the four walls of the classroom. And that particular period, ICANN was celebrating 50 years. I raised up my hand and I asked my lecturer, I said, 50 years of ICANN in Nigeria. ICANN has produced thousands of chartered accountants, and Nigeria cannot stand up and boast of a good financial economy. Is it not a shame for ICANN? As you have rightly said, we are the ones that will man it or will make it. If any organization is going to die today, it is in the hands of the accountant. And if the organization is going to grow well, it is still the accountant. I will support that motion that says we should go and remove that concept of confidentiality. We should go and throw it in the dustbin, straight off, because they will pack many things. And me that want to use the financial report of that organization, they will paint good picture for me, and I'll go and put my money in that company, invest in it. At the end of the day, all of us will put hand on the head. I've lost a lot of money because they padded financial report that an accountant that's supposed to speak the truth, and they will write fair and what we always write in our audit, true and fair. What is so? As you have rightly said, sir, I don't know what to do, and that was the reason why I said I won't work in the public sector. Because if you work in the public sector, you cannot. I so much envy that man yesterday that I said he's working in the public sector and he's still like that. I wish I.
It's a very tough one. It borders on integrity, culture, background, is the person in you. Oftentimes I tell my people, my staff, look, if you have to be an accountant, an auditor, you shouldn't do long truth, in inverted commas. You shouldn't be easily carried away. Because people will come and hear you, especially when you have projected yourself as somebody that is upright, you don't want anybody to corrupt you, you don't want to belong to that group of accountants that manipulate records. A lot of accountants manipulate records in establishments. Accountants are the ones that will come and give different trial balances reports. There's a trial balance for tax consultant, there's a different trial balance for auditors. It's honestly, the profession is embodied with a lot of people that do not have integrity, and it's a lot of work. If you want to do that, you are going to face a lot of challenges, and you have to be very, very brave